Hi everyone, it's Raina. This is for the new moon in Aries, and I've been kind of waiting until last minute to make these types of new and full moon videos. I think it's just because time has kind of like gone so fast for me lately that, I mean, we're already in April. I cannot believe this. I just can't. So I wanted to just touch upon a few of the things that are surrounding this new moon in Aries. Well, first of all, we're done with the Mercury retrograde, and Mercury will come out of its shadow in mid-April, but, you know, it's officially over with, the actual retrograde, and it's gaining ground. So it's on the right side of things. And we have the new moon at 15 degrees of Aries. So that means the sun is going to be the same degree. And at the same time, we have Mercury in Pisces as well as Venus in Pisces. So this is very dreamy energy. And this can be quite tricky because you have people raring to go. We have this double cardinal energy of sun and moon, but the thoughts are Neptunian. So they could be kind of like fantasy based. And this is a very important thing to consider if you have plans. And these could be career plans, or if you have somebody that you are really smitten with, is be careful about having kind of realistic plans at this time that are born out of fantasy rather than grounded in reality, because it's not the end of the world, but Aries likes to take action. And so depending on exactly what it is that you're doing, it could lead to more complications, okay? But definitely, if you feel compelled to take action, if you want to start something, definitely this is a great time to do it, because Aries is the first sign, and it's all about being bold and also having that sense of courage. I guess that's what being bold is, isn't it? But confidence and really being creative too. Fire signs are creative. Now looking at Mars is in Gemini. So I was going to say the first word that popped into my mind was trickster. Probably because I had picked that card when I was doing one of my YouTube readings just now. But I think that I associate Gemini with the trickster, whether it should be or not. And again, Mars is your action. So make sure that your action aligns with your purpose and that it's not nervous energy, because Gemini can be just nervous energy, trying to, throw something against the wall to see if it sticks, but not really having, scattered energy, okay? Not having clarity and conciseness and focus, all right? And so with the Gemini and the Pisces energy, that can certainly be present. So looking at the aspects, we have beautiful trines from the sun and moon to Jupiter. Great for manifesting even like material abundance, okay? And definitely good for aligning with your purpose and feeling very positive as you do it. Mercury is squaring Jupiter. Again, Mercury is in Pisces, Jupiter in Sag. And there's this tendency with, it's funny, I was going to say Sag, but really Pisces as well, because, the ancient ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. So Pisces has that, I was going to blame Neptune for this, of the unrealistic types of expectations in life, but Jupiter can blow things up, and make things more grandiose. So it's possible that some Pisces people, or the influence from Pisces, could also be an exaggeration. And, so in other words, having ideas that are grandiose, that don't really mesh with what is really possible at this time. And it's very hard to say something like that because I believe in possibilities, but I want people to go after things based on, you know, having a grounded perspective as they're doing it. Don't just go half-cocked and do something because, you know, you want to. I mean, you feel like that would be so great if it could happen. Well, yeah, of course, it's great when things can happen, but make sure that you have a game plan, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And both Pisces and Gemini, they're mutable signs, so they're very capable of changing into something else and kind of leaving something in the dust that they have already started, you know, or that they were going to do. So that fickle quality that we don't want to have. Now, there are squares from the Sun and Moon to Saturn. And that it's funny that there are trines to Jupiter and squares to Saturn from the Sun and Moon. How can I interpret that? Well, it's like there may be feelings like, I mean, and I feel like this is true of life as it is right now. It's like you can feel very, very positive, and in the next moment or even at the same time feel very pessimistic. I mean, I think there's a lot of extreme stuff happening in the collective, okay? And so you may have had these kinds of feelings yourself, and I have certainly had them, where it's like, I feel like, wow, everything is possible, and then it's like, oh God, this is like, how is this ever going to happen? I mean, and it's like, how do you reconcile these two things? Well, you really don't. Basically, squares to Saturn can indicate frustrations, obstacles, feeling like you want to do something, but you can't, like there's something kind of blocking you from doing it. And with the Moon square Saturn, it is your emotions that are creating this. With the Sun, it could be like the ego that is kind of asserting itself and wanting to have the last word or be able to control things that you can't control. I like that biblical saying, you know, not my will, but thy will. Even if we're co-creators and we believe that we have some control over our lives and it's not just God pulling the strings, I do think that having that humility and kind of ability to surrender at any time to whatever is not working out in your life is a good thing. Aries is the kind of sign that really wants to push forward no matter what. If you know any Aries people and you say no to them, you will know exactly what I mean. I don't think many Aries people take no for an answer, okay? It's just like, if I can only, you know, just continue to press for certain things, it's going to work. Well, there are some of us out here that aren't going to make that happen because we believe, you know, and I'll tell you who they are. A lot of them will be fixed signs, or they'll have it, like me with my Taurus rising. Just try to get me. Just try to strong arm me. See how that goes. Because some people will dig in their heels and say, you can't make me. Okay? And so this is one of those situations where you may feel like an Aries person and you want to push something forward, and it's like the universe is saying you can't make me. But if the universe is saying it, it's probably because they want you to look at how you approach life itself. The more that you can live in the discomfort of not knowing what's going to really happen, the better off you'll be. That might sound kind of strange coming from an astrologer, but I just had somebody write to me because I wrote a comment on YouTube on somebody else's video and said, Why are you interested in astrology? Because I was saying, you have like control over your own life. And I was almost going against this idea of astrology, but I'm really not, because we can use these tools for different purposes. And I choose to use them for self-growth. And all the people listening to this will be of different signs. Some of you are going to be very able to surrender to the universe. If something doesn't seem like it's flowing, if you're trying to launch a new business and everything seems to be going wrong, and yet you persevere and it still goes wrong, you may say, you know what, I'm going to put this on pause for a minute because I think that the timing must be off. If you're really like believe in your project, you can pick it up at a different time. Or if you're just in a relationship or a marriage, whatever it is, and it's not working, you may say, I'm going to separate, but you're not just going to get a divorce. But you want to have that time to decide what to do. So in other words, there are people that are willing to kind of lay low. And there are some people that are going to double down. And basically what I'm warning those people is that you may find that you're going to be forced to lay low and to surrender to whatever's happening. And you have to be okay with that, because with Saturn, you could feel like the world's against you if you're not careful. You could just jump to conclusions. And this is a great time for soulmate energy, because Venus is in conjunction with Neptune. Of course, any kind of contact with Neptune, even something very positive, can end up as being diluted in love. However, I would say don't worry about that, because love is love. And, if you have a certain feeling for somebody, that's what it is. The problem is we don't usually have just feelings. We have some hidden agenda, And a lot of people can't admit that. They will say, oh, I love this person so much, and I don't know if I should continue to wait for them until they get a divorce. And I'm saying, why do you got to wait for anything? Just live your life. Oh, but see, they really want to sleep with them. And they feel like it's immoral to sleep with somebody who's married. So they want to wait. But they're kind of like making it out to be this amazing love of the century. But really, there's a selfish component to it. It's not beyond the pale, but there is something in it for them that they're looking towards. And so it's just kind of interesting how the human mind works. And there could be a really great situation. It's funny that not only is Mercury in Pisces, but it is in conjunction with Neptune. Very dreamy, very illogical. And I say that with all due respect, and nothing negative meant by that. But this could indicate, but then on top of that, in conjunction with Neptune, it's like a double Neptunian influence. So this is great for artists. It's great for anybody who's creative. So start that great American novel, even if you're in Europe. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, that's what I have for you. I just want to say that this is a very idealistic time, okay? And so I think it's going to be very positive overall. I really do. So I hope that you enjoy this new moon in Aries, and take care of yourselves. Bye.